is here. My glorious Seahawks. Starting off, I updated the quarterback tier list a little bit. I added a Macy the Field and a backup tier. I switched. JJ McCarthy got injured, so I moved him down to Macy the Field and moved Sam Darnold up to not very good. Another thing, Jacoby Brissett is currently the projected starter for the Patriots. He is not on here, but Drake May is. So, since Jacoby Brissett is not on here, I am not going to move Drake May down to Macy the Field because I think he will see the field. Did I have him above Daniels? After that preseason game, I'm going to put Daniels above. And Bo Nix, actually, yeah, that's the only changes I'm going to make for now. Gino, one right up here. Right there. Right ahead of Purdy, right behind Jordan Love, and Sam Howell, I don't think he's seeing the field. Gino, very underrated. He can get the job done. I mean, you really can pick out any advanced analytic, and Gino will be most likely top 10 in that analytic. Percent of pressures that turned into sacks, Gino was top 10. Not in top 10 percentage wise, he was top 10 lowest percent. Right up there with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. And Trevor Siemian, for some reason, was on there. But Geno Smith is a lot better than a lot of people give him credit for. Sam Howell, not too high on him becoming the next starter. I mean, his ceiling is probably Daniel Jones. It's not pretty. PJ Walker, he looked unstoppable on third down. And then when it wasn't third down, he didn't look very good. But when it was third down, he was incredible. He was just slinging it, but only on third down. Ken Walker, dark horse to lead the league in rushing touchdowns. He's going to get a lot of touches inside the red zone. I expect him to be very good this next year. Charbonnet, pretty important last year in the receiving game. He made some big plays. Don't expect much of a jump in these numbers, though. I think he'll stick at around 500 rushing yards, a couple hundred receiving yards, maybe a little more receiving yards. McIntosh hurt all of last year. Came in the preseason, played very well in the preseason. Excited to see what he is going to do. Halani looked good in the preseason. He's 5'11", but there's a picture of him that was going around in off season that made him look like he was like 5'6". I don't see it, but yeah, he looked pretty good. Maybe makes the team. Maybe he could make a push for the final roster. DK, hot take. DK may have a generational season this year. I'm talking 1,400 receiving yards, 15 touchdowns. He's looked very good in camp. I mean, and he gets to practice against two of the best in the league every day. So, not this iron sharpens iron. Tyler Lockett, he's older, but I mean, he can still go in and get the job done. Damn near 900 receiving yards last year. And get the ball and get down. I mean, he's gonna get his receptions. He's gonna get his yards. And I don't know if he'll get his touchdowns, but he will for sure get his receptions and yards. JSN, looking for a big jump from him. Lockett, targets probably go down, and JSN probably gets more targets this year. I'd expect a cool 800, 900 yards, 7, 8 touchdowns from JSN this year. Jake Bobo, big guy, he's big. He made some very nice catches last year. Big fan favorite in Seattle. He is fun. Laviska Shenault, who has looked very worth his signing so far. Yeah, I mean, this is a good pickup. We talk about the Packers having probably the deepest receiver room, but after them, this is a good contender. This is a deep room. Derek Young doesn't see a ton of offensive playing time. He'll probably see more this year. I mean, he's going in his third year. He is a very good special teams player. It seems every time I'm watching them, he's down there downing a punt, making a tackle. Very underrated. D. Eskridge probably makes the final team just because he's on his rookie contract, and some people in the building may still have some hope for him. And he might be returning kicks. Yeah, he's returning kicks. Notable Aesop Winston, who's just kind of him and Cody White never really make the final roster, but they get signed to the practice squad and they show up at the preseason next year. I remember Aesop Winston was last year's preseason roster. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he'll make a final roster, but he'll probably get signed to the practice squad, and we'll probably see him again next preseason. Same with Cody White. D. Williams. This is a dark horse for a player to make the roster. He's listed as a receiver, but he did get some snaps at cornerback, actually, and he looked pretty good at cornerback. So this is a weird situation. I mean, he's listed on the depth chart as a return man too. But he was playing listed as a receiver. He was playing in the secondary against the Chargers. Noah Fant, underrated tight end. Not like one of the best in the world, but he's pretty underrated. He's not bad. He's serviceable, above average. Farrell Brown, they're bringing in. He's a blocking tight end. Don't really expect him to get too, into the receiving aspect of the game. Tyler Mabry had a touchdown last year against, was it 2 years ago against the Jets? Yeah, 2 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was against the Jets. I think it was on the first or second drive of the game, because the first play you had the huge Ken Walker run. Then he threw a nice one to Parkinson. Maybe he threw a nice pass to a tight end. And then it might have been Mabry, but he'll probably get some more action this season. And Brady Russell is another sleeper to make the final roster. I didn't expect him to look like that. In the game against the Chargers, it looked like he had like black hair. Not. What the hell? He didn't look. He didn't look ginger. It looks like he was on the Eagles at one point. But hey, he looked pretty damn good in the preseason. Well, he's a sleeper to make the final roster too. Charles Cross. Very young, very good. Looking for him to take that next step to go from good to great. Laken Tomlinson, not great, but at least it's not McClendon Curtis, who was not good at all. He looked pretty awful. Connor Williams hasn't played yet in Seattle, just traded for him. He's going to be a big part of this offensive line. I mean, he's not like going to be catching passes and running balls, but he is going to be very important to the success of this team. Anthony Bradford probably gets relegated to backup. Christian Haynes probably starts by the start of the regular season, or by the end of the regular season. Christian Haynes just looked pretty good. And a third-round pick fell in the draft. Could have gotten him like early second round. I mean, that's a steal of a pick. Maybe steal of the draft. Abe Lucas, who when he's healthy looks good. He's just cannot stay healthy. But I mean, he's very promising if he can get healthy. Olu Oluwatimi, young. I hope it turns out well for him. I hope that he is pretty good one day. Raekwon O'Neal is not bad. George Stone Forsythe is bad. And Mike Jarrell is very strong. He had one play against the Chargers where he just threw this guy. And he didn't even have to move to throw him. Jerron Reed is listed here as the left defensive end and the nose tackle. They'll probably move Jermont Jones over there. No, this is not how it's. They're not going to have two Jerron Reeds playing. I mean, but this is a very deep roster. Very deep. Pass rush. Rotation. Jerron Reed had 7 sacks last year from the defensive tackle position. I mean, he's a very underrated defensive tackle. He was pretty much the only interior defensive lineman besides Leonard Williams to do anything. And Leonard Williams, the numbers aren't eye-popping from him last year, but, he was very good. Uchenna Nwosu was hurt last year, led the team in sacks a couple years ago. He's healthy now. He's young. I mean, he's going to be a cornerstone for this team for the next couple years. Byron Murphy, first-round pick, he has looked like the defensive rookie of the year through one preseason game, and they're in Tennessee right now. Practicing with the Titans, and from everything I'm hearing, he is dominating the Titans right now. Jonathan Hankins is solid. Jermont Jones, a little disappointing last year, but hopefully he can bring it back to what he was doing in Denver. Derek Hall, again, very disappointing last year, but he looked very good in the preseason opener, and I hope he can continue to look very good. Mike Morris didn't do. I don't even know if he played at all last year. So he had a couple tackles, but I mean, Mike McDonald is doing some stuff with him. He dropped back in a coverage once against L.A. Miles Adams also looked pretty solid against the Chargers. Tyrell Dodson, Jerome Baker. Tyrell Dodson's young. Jerome Baker is not as young, but he's still, this isn't the greatest linebacker core, but Mike McDonald is a linebacker guru. So if anyone could get some of these linebackers, I assume it would be him. Where's the other linebacker? Tyrese Knight. He looked very good. He is going up and he's making tackles. He's not afraid to go and hit someone. John Radigan made some big plays against the Chargers too. Boye Mafe had 9 sacks last year. I expect another jump from him. He is going to be a star in the league. Darrell Taylor, a lot of Seahawks fans hate him. I personally like him as a pass rusher. And he's a good rotational piece, but he is not a good run defender at all. Reek Woolen. Man, he has looked excellent in camp in this offseason. He is going to be very good this year. Nahima Pritchett and DJ James, 2 rookies, both out of Auburn. I didn't hear much about Nahima Pritchett, but DJ James, from what I heard, played very well in preseason opener. Rayshawn Jenkins had a huge hit to break up a pass and cause an interception, so he's definitely on the radar. Kevon Wallace, expect him to be serviceable. I'm not looking for him to be prime Earl Thomas, but Marquise Blair is back on the team. Will he make the final roster? It's possible. Julian Love, Pro Bowler last year, a little overrated, but he's still pretty good. Kobe Bryant, interception against the Chargers. He wears number 8 like Kobe Bryant. He led the league in forced fumbles one year, I think. He had 5 a couple years ago. Yeah, he had 5 in his rookie year. Some Seahawks fans are done with him. I'm not. I think he can be pretty good. Jarek Reed didn't play a ton last year, but I have high hopes for him. Trey Brown. I'm going to say it. He might be the best cornerback 3 in the league. He's kind of clamps. I'm not going to lie. Michael Jackson is also pretty good. Devin Witherspoon, incredible rookie year. He has not looked very promising in this offseason, though. But, I'm confident he can turn it around. And Artie Burns is just depth. He's not really doing a ton. What did he do last year in Seattle? Because I don't really remember hearing his name. He had 20 tackles, a couple of pass deflections. That's solid depth. He's not going to get a ton of play time. Jason Myers, who misses from time to time. Michael Dixon, who is maybe the greatest punter I've ever seen. He had a double punt a couple years ago, which was awesome. D. Eskridge, who I hate on all the time, But the one time I was watching the Seahawks game with my dad, and D. Eskridge went out to return a kick, I said, "Oh, that guy is bad. D. Eskridge is not good." And then he proceeded to return the kick like 60 yards. And so I really can't say anything about D. Eskridge anymore. Chenault returning, he had a big return or two against the Chargers. So I mean, as we talked about the new kickoff rules in a different one, I'm not gonna go on that tangent again. But on to the record. I mean, they're gonna beat the Falcons. I think we'll split it with the Rams. Beat the Cardinals twice, and then split the Rams. Put us at 15-2. Um, yeah. Obviously, I'm a little biased, but I don't care. This is gonna be a very good team. Whether you like it or not, honestly, it's probably the longest episode in a while, but it's my favorite team, so I'm gonna have a lot to say about them. That's all for now. I'll see you guys later.